Hello students, how are you all? Hope you are fine. So today we are going to begin with the concluding part of Unit 3 3.4 Shushruta Part 2. Kindly remove your textbook, page number 65. Now in the first part we saw that the part first continued with the Shushruta and that as a bright veterinary student and about his teacher, that is Shalyotra, who had decided to test him. Shalyotra asked Sushruta to list down the equipments which are needed to perform a surgery. Sushruta had everything right, but he had missed the three things which he found out through the careful observation of the teacher. Now we'll continue with the part 2. Now in the part 2, this part 2, it makes us acquaint with the veterinary therapy. Now, veterinary, as earlier explained, it is relating to the medical or the surgical treatment about animals, especially the domestic or the farm animals. So, this part 2, it acquaints us about the veterinary therapy, that is a treatment to relieve or heal any kind of the disorders which the animals have, which developed very early in the India, and how it was used by the great kings like Chandragupta Maurya and Emperor Ashoka. Now, even in those days also, they had to think about the animals because during the fight or during the war, they required the animals, especially the horses. So, utmost care was taken about the animals, especially the horses, during the time of the great kings, that is the Chandragupta Maurya and the Emperor Ashoka, and to treat their animals accompanying their armies and the cattle as well. Animal byproducts were used by our ancestors. Now, ancestors are our early generation, there's your fathers, your forefathers. Indians need to be made more aware of the veterinary science as a career, which is the need of the hour. So let us see your textbook, page number 65. This we had earlier only dealt with the Vishishtuta when he was born and what was he well known for? He was known as for the father of surgery. Now part 2. A tradition of veterinary therapy developed very early in India and this has survived to the present time. Based on the Ayurveda, Indian veterinary medicine is known for its specialized literature which provides information on ancient methods of preventing and treating diseases of animals. Some of these treatments, little known outside India, are still practiced today. So, in this first paragraph, it had mentioned that the tradition of veterinary therapy, it is not only developed now, but it was developed very early in the India, from the ancient time, and it has still survived or continued to survive in the present time also. And it is based on completely on Ayurveda. Ayurveda is being treating by the with the help of the herbs and the roots. And the Indian veterinary medicine is known for the specialized literature. That means we have all the written records which provides the information on the ancient methods, that is the time in which they used to live and how they used to treat the animals when the modern equipments were not available to us. And some of these treatments, little known outside India, are still practiced today. That means we have ample of knowledge, we have sufficient of the knowledge as compared to the other people or the other countries outside India. The oldest existing veterinary text from India is a treatise entitled Asvayurveda Siddhanta. Now, this they had mentioned in this paragraph that the existing veterinary text from India, we even have a book, Complete Ayurvedic System for the Horses, which was written by somebody. He had really played a very important role, and he had very well studied about the animals, especially the horse. And the Asva Ayurveda Siddhanta means the complete Ayurvedic system for horses. It is attributed to Shalyotra around 2350 BC, that is before Christ, the founder of veterinary medicine. Subsequently, various treatises on horses and the diseases of the horses were composed. Nakula, one of the five Pandavas, was a horse specialist himself. Among the best known works of the animal literature is Aswachikitsa, Therapist of Horses, written by Nakula. So in India, we have at least two books being written, having the complete knowledge or ample knowledge of only the horses. First one is the Shalyotra. He had written Aswayurveda Siddhanta, and the other is Aswachikitsa, that is being written by Nakula. And Nakula, that he is one of the brothers, okay, of the five Pandavas, and he had immense knowledge about the horses, and so only he has written a book. That means he had written literature. Here, the annual literature means the complete information about the animals, especially the horses. So only it is known as a Ashwa. Means what? Ashwa is a word which is used in India, especially for horses. But this word is not only in the Devanagari, but it is Sanskrit word. In Hindi, we call it in different way, but in pure Sanskrit, it is known as a Ashwa, that is horses. Ashwa Chikitsa, that means how to treat animals. That is the therapeutics of horses. It was written by Nakula. Now moving further, Shushruta, a disciple of the Shalyotra, wrote on animal surgery. This made people aware of the surgical methods. As this text is being speaking only about the Shushruta, so the Shushruta was a disciple of the Shalyotra, and he wrote on animal surgery. This made people aware of the surgical methods, dressing of wounds and bandaging of fractures, etc. That means the surgery had we were well known of this kind of surgeries, or the surgical methods, not only today but from the ancient time we were aware of. Later, during the reign of the Chandragupta Maurya around 300 BC, veterinarians started accompanying armies to treat horses, elephants, as well as cattle. So later on, during the period of the Chandragupta Maurya, veterinarians, that means a person, a doctor, in short you can call as the doctors for the animals who treat the animals, they will also be uh, carried, or they had also been accompanying them, so that in case during the fight or during the in the battle, during the war, if any of the horses or elephants or even the cattle also, somebody is hurt or something is being done wrong to them, they can treat them. The great emperor Ashoka erected the first known veterinary hospitals. Now here also we come to know about who had created or who had erected, not created. See, when you create something new, that is known as different, but erected means what? Erected, made the hospital, first veterinary hospital of the world. He arranged the cultivation of the herbal medicines for men and animals in his empire and the adjoining kingdoms. He was a very good man, Emperor Ashoka, and he arranged the cultivation of the herbal medicines. Your herbal medicines, for example, you have various herbs. For example, tulsi is your herb, mint is a form of the herb, There are many such herbs. So he had arranged for the cultivation of the herbal medicines for men and animals, not only for the animals but also for the men in his empire and the adjoining kingdom. Wherever he was staying, not only there, that is in his kingdom, but also other kingdom also, giving the animals the general tonics and the stimulants was practiced in order to ensure good mental and the physical health. Now, animals were being given as we require that tonics, a good amount of vitamins and minerals we require so that we can live a healthy life. Similarly, he realized that if the animals are given the appropriate amount of tonics and the stimulants, so that whenever they are on the fight or whenever they are at the war, whenever at their time of the battle, at that time the, not only the physical health but also the mental health of the animals also remain very stable. Then prevention of the occurrence of diseases was also given importance. Not only that whenever they were not feeling well, whenever they were ill, they were taken care of, but also it was seen that no animal, instead of, we always have heard that proverb that prevention is better than cure. So here also they applied the same logic that instead of curing them later on, why not to prevent the occurrence of any kind of disease? So the attention was being paid, the significance was being laid, the importance was being laid to see that that the, the disease is prevented instead of curing them later on. Cleanliness of animals, maintenance of stalls and stables, quality of food, disadvantages of overfeeding were looked after. Now here, not only it was seen that the animal should be uh, kept in the proper condition, given the proper food to eat, but also here the cleanliness of the animals and the maintenance of the stalls in the stables, everything was being, that means the hygienic conditions were being maintained so as to keep the animals very in a very good condition, and even the whatever the food they been served to the animals, even that also quality was being very good. And also one of the thing was what they had added to this point, that whatever food was given, it was given up to a certain quantity, and the animals were not being overfeeded, because they realized that when you overfeed an animal, there are certain, see, everything, as we say that every action has equal and opposite reaction. So here also they had kept in the mind that if we overfeed them, it will create certain disadvantages not only for the animals but also for them also. Then coming to the utilization of the animal byproducts was also done wisely by our ancestors. Conversion of milk into butter. See, conversion of milk into butter, ghee, curd, khoya was a common practice and still is. See, today everybody is well aware of the butter, ghee, curd, khoya, but these all who had taught us, these were our ancestors who had realized that the animal's byproducts can be utilized in this manner also. For example, if they had kept the milk like this only, it would have been such a waste. From that milk, how they utilized it, conversion of milk into then butter, ghee, curd and khoya. And so that practice was common not only in those days, but also it is still going on. Chicken was utilized for its meat, while sheep was utilized for its wool. Although India has always had the immense knowledge in the field of veterinary science, it is not chosen as a career by many due to the lack of awareness. Now see, uh, in India, though we have ample of knowledge, but here we are lacking here. There are certain loopholes. Now what are those loopholes is that we don't have any idea, or we don't know that what career to choose. And even we are not guided by anybody that if we choose um, if you choose this kind of a career, it will be beneficial not only for yourself but also for the country, because you're serving your country also. So here it is being specified that in this paragraph that although India had always immense knowledge, no doubt in India we have ample of knowledge, we have immense knowledge of everything, but we lack where. What is the loophole? The loophole is that we are not aware of our strength. And here it is that due to lack of awareness, we are not aware of this kind of career. Only we know about the basic careers, that is our profession, our vocation. We only know about that one, but we don't know about this. So being an agricultural based country, India is an agriculture based country. What do you mean by agriculture based country? That means whatever exports, or see, some of the countries, how they are technology based. But here, whatever we reap today is due to our agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of our country. So being an agriculture based country, today India needs more veterinarians who empathize with animals and give their 10% to the profession. Now empathize with animals, now see, sympathy is one thing. Empathize means what? You put yourself. When someone puts oneself into the other person's shoes, at that time we say that he really empathizes with that person. Okay, who empathize animals and give their 10% to the profession. Whatever career you choose in your life, you have to give your 100%. That is 10%. Otherwise, you will be never successful in any of your profession, whatever you choose. But here, in this extract, that is in our topic, that is Shushruta, a peek into the past, the part 1 and part 2, we conclude here that today India requires more number of veterinarians. As our country is what? As a country is agriculture based country, so we need to realize this importance, realize this significance, and make the people aware that yes, this kind of also profession will be very helpful not only to oneself but also to the country, as you will be serving your country in disguise. So here here the author has left a question for you all, that if you choose this profession, what are the pros and the cons that you have to decide, and then you have to move ahead in your life. But one thing is there, when you choose any kind of profession, you have to give your 10%. By Dr. Chirantana Matkari. So I hope you all have understood this extract very well. If you all like my educational video, kindly like it and subscribe it. Thank you once again. God bless you all.